Hey everybody, it's Phil Strazula from Select Software Reviews. And today we're going to be talking about hiring hourly workers with somebody who's a bit of an expert. Martin is here with me. He is the co-founder, CSO, Chief Strategy Officer for AppyHere. Martin, thank you so much for taking the time out. Do you mind giving a brief introduction on yourself, kind of, your personal journey and what you're up to these days?
Okay, man. Thank you for the opportunity, Phil. So, Martin, I'm one of the co-founder of AppyHere, been in HR for more than 25 years, started as a labor relation expert, and I've been able to work in very different industries, mining, manufacturing, video games. And in 2018, we decided to launch AppyHere, where we focus solely on the recruitment of hourly employees.
Very cool. So let's talk hourly worker recruitment. I'd love to hear your sort of best-in-class process. I know, some of the tidbits, speed matters, experience, mobile first, all this stuff. But can you kind of maybe walk us through like the hiring funnel or the hiring process and what sort of your best-in-class or best practices, starting with sourcing?
Sourcing, but what is really interesting, you need to understand that in the early market, you're not buying a candidate, you're buying a moment of attention. Mm. When they apply, within a couple of hours, they might forget that they apply with you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is speed is more important than your employee brand. Okay. So we have customers that have a great employee brand. They're struggling to recruit early employees. Why? Because they're slow. And just to give you an example, for us, speed, it's minutes, not days or weeks. Okay, so we have some of our customers, the total cycle time from applying to get scheduled interview in 6 hours. So that when we say speed, because that's the nature of the hourly market, they need to work. It's not like us white collar that sometimes the way we see our career, it's very different. The other thing is the hourly market is very, very, very dynamic and is highly localized. Okay, we're doing recruiting for a customer across North America, and it's depending where you're in a city, the position, the industry, it's not the same market. Okay, some they have too many candidates, other they have no candidates at all. The other thing also it's really important is that for the most of the early job seeker, a job is a commodity. Okay, what is important for them is the salary for sure. Not only the salary, the location, like are you close from public transit? The other thing, the schedule. So more and more what we see today is people are looking for a second or third job, okay, because they feel the impact of inflation. So that's why the hourly market is very different, and it's the speed is key, but it's a lot more than that. It's I've been doing that full time for almost 6 years now. I'm still learning, and it's still evolving. So.
That's awesome, and thanks for getting into the psyche of one of these candidates. I think it's so important whether you're hiring a senior level engineer or somebody to work as a cashier at a grocery store. You need to understand your persona so that you can design the right process, the right value props. The value prop of, culture or diversity or something like that, like maybe isn't going to land with somebody who's looking to pick up a couple of shifts, where it might, with somebody who's thinking about the next 5 years of their career and how do their values match this place that they're going to spend 40 plus hours a week at. Can you talk about, so it's hyper localized. Does that mean that you're utilizing local job boards, or is it just like Indeed with the right targeting?
We have a tagline that you don't need a job board to recruit early employees. So we're doing campaign, and we have major corporations that don't even use any job boards. Okay, so we're using, depending of the, let's say we'll talk about the retail sector. Most of our customers, the big majority of their candidates are coming directly of applying in store using a QR code. We'll do really targeted campaign where the candidate are. So it could be TikTok, Facebook, Meta, depending of the type of candidate they're looking for and the where in that area, their age and everything. That's what make the candidate available and where to catch that moment of attention. That's key. So because we that idea of being able to apply really fast, we're talking about 90 seconds for the first time. So from applying to get scheduled interview in 90 seconds. So that's the key. And we're in a business of having less friction as possible for a job seeker. It's really, that's what they're looking for when we're doing focus group with candidate. That's what they're looking for. It's the job, also why I should enter all my information every time I apply.
What can you give me a sense for the copy on, TikTok or Instagram that's attracting somebody's attention and getting them to get to that next phase in the funnel?
Will be apply without a resume, working very well. Sometimes it's all about, we have another customer, through doing campaign, we've learned that in that market, okay, people were looking for a second job. So we're able to sit down with our customer, providing the insight, and we started to do campaign. Hey, you want to work Saturday morning, making $150? So in that case, in that market, that we're looking at a group of candidates that are looking for a second job and working Saturday morning. So when I say really localize and to have the right message and the right publicity that target both the market and the right number of candidates.
Got it. And then the apply itself, I would imagine it's the same whether you're on your phone at home on Instagram or in store scanning a QR code. You get to a landing page, and how do you make it 90 seconds? What information are you capturing?
Very limited. First name, last name, phone number, email. They answer the question to purify themselves. If they ask information, it's all designed to be as seamless as possible, and that's it. As simple as that. What's happening also is that we're working with our customer. We help them like get an insight. Where are the friction? So often we say we go from bottleneck to bottleneck, because sometimes it's the top of the funnel, the issue. And we work with a major retailer in Canada that they came to us because they didn't have enough candidate. After 6 weeks, we demonstrate to them that in a couple of areas, it's their process that was broken. It's not their ability to attract. Is that they had enough candidate? Is they were slow to get in touch with the candidate. So it was taking them 3 weeks. After 7 weeks, we were down to 3 days.
Wow.
Applying to get to the first shift.
Wow, 3 days. That's unbelievable. That's really powerful, especially for a larger company.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we've applied, it takes 90 seconds, and then that goes to a recruiter. And how does a recruiter vet those people, or do you automatically text everybody to do a phone screen, or like what kind of happens from there?
It depending on the process of the customer. Okay, so for example, when we say we need the recruiter, we're helping our customer talk to the right candidate. So we're not in a business of bringing more candidate. We're in a business of bringing you, making sure that you're talking with the right candidate at the right time. So depending, are you able, let's say, to work? Are you legally able to work? Are you able to work night shift? Are you able to work Sundays? Depending on what make the job
and you're doing this all over text message after the application?
Text message, by voice. So
okay.
It's all
that's automated.
Yeah, it's automated. So it's as frictionless as possible. And if they already have the app or record, I think it's 15 seconds from applying to get scheduled an interview. So
wow.
That's because the way I explained to some of the recruiter, it's the same experience. When the first time you took a Lyft or Uber, I remember me the first time, feel kind of weird. Now ask me to take a traditional taxi compared to the experience as a user that you have in Lyft and Uber. It's day and night. So that's the type of experience we provide to the job seeker.
Got it. And what are like best in class conversion rates across these first couple of steps of the funnel?
So let's say you have a salary that is at the market, at the localized market, that you have a well-known brand, an impact. We're looking at from click to apply, or best is at 48%.
Okay. And click is like I open the QR code and I actually apply. Got it.
Yeah, a complete application.
Okay.
So it's not started the application, it's a
Yeah.
complete application. So and that what is really important also for the candidate experience is that if they don't have the right profile, they know it as soon as possible. So they just when we are doing focus group, one thing they appreciate is the fact that at least I know I was not considered. So it's not like in a black hole of applying that I don't know. So that's the type of that's speed. And for us, it's really important that we provide both for the recruiter and the job seeker a great experience.
Okay, so 48%, and then what percentage of those will answer the follow-up questions, and what percent will actually be qualified, sort of on average?
On average, will be depending, we'll see around 25%, okay, depending. But it honestly that it's a loaded question, and the fact that it very depend, because we see differences between in the same region with the same customer. It depends on the location. But give you an example, one of our customer for certain of these stores, okay, is ratio of interview to hire is 85%. Okay,
Oh, wow.
We're not doing that the first day. Okay, it will take a couple of months, let's say 2-3 months because it's all about getting the right candidate. So it's an iterative process. So, and sometimes we were telling our customer, because often they will say, okay, I need to have more candidate to make the hire. No, you need to, at every roadblock, where you need to address those roadblocks. Some are process driven, some are, okay, do you want that to have that requirement? Okay, so it's matching your job to the reality of that really localized job market.
Got it. Yeah, I love it. I love this idea of attacking bottlenecks. I know at the beginning, before we started recording, you said you guys have all this data. What are some of the more interesting statistics that pop out and that really kind of, illuminate maybe one of the key insights for this hourly hiring?
One thing that we were really surprised when we discovered the amount of ghosting done by the recruiter. Okay, so give you an example. On average, it's around 6% of the ghost interview. The one who ghosts is the recruiter.
Wow. They just never show up.
They never show up. They forgot. Or
Okay.
they. Okay. So it's on average, or best in class are around at 3%. Okay. But we have some customer that at the beginning, they're at 20-22%.
Wow. That's crazy.
And this is why I remember having a discussion with a customer. I said, your recruiter cost you almost $4,000 this week because he didn't show up to a lot of his interviews.
And that cost, is that the value that employee would have on the job site, or? No,
it's the real cost of, hey, we spent $4,000 to bring those
unpaid media.
Yeah, on paid media. That's what the real cost of. So this is why we're able to reduce the cost to hire dramatically. It's all those little details. Okay. Sometimes also what is really interesting is in that market, often the candidate will ask question. They provide you with when they want the job, they really want it. And another element is, as if you're able to answer quickly the candidate to his question, you reduce both the risk of ghosting and also the ghosting for the interview, but also the ghosting for the first shift. So, and we always say to our customer, it's all about giving them a really great candidate experience. It has a huge impact on the behavior of the job seeker, because often we say the job seekers see the job as a commodity, but often the recruiter will see the candidate as a commodity also. So by providing a really great experience, you reduce all your KPIs go up. Yeah,
that's pretty interesting. These recruiters, how many recs are they handling? And maybe it's sort of like one role. How many people are they hiring a month, I guess, per recruiter?
Okay, we've done it with one of our customers. Per week, it was around between 40 and 50
hires.
Hires.
How many? So I guess that's like, it's an 85% higher ratio.
Yeah.
So 60 interviews or something like that, which is a lot. That's a lot of interviews.
But what give you one thing that we've learned also, because the system automate around right now 85% of the work the recruiter. So we're helping some of our customer recruit. Okay, so we have our own recruiter, we have a team of recruiter, and what we realize is that we don't give them more than 4 hour shift, because you cannot do that 8 hours. It's humanly.
No, it's crazy.
It's
How
crazy.
long are the interviews? 20 minutes?
It depends. We have customer ranging from 10 to 40 minutes, depending of the overall. Let's say it's more in terms of hourly, like machinist or welder. Sometimes will take longer, but for some in the retail, it's hey, they fit the profile, they want to work, they fit. It's 10-minute interview.
What do you think about video interviews instead of that 10-minute human to human?
By us, it's video interviews, because one thing that we
Okay. Is it synchronous or asynchronous?
it's synchronous, okay?
Okay.
Because asynchronous, what we've seen is that it's causing the delay in the process.
Okay.
Because what you need to understand that a candidate will apply maybe to 15, 20 jobs. So which one is calling me first or having the interview? The other thing that's really interesting is that we've seen a drop in the ghosting when you're doing video interviews. And we've learned that maybe 3-4 years ago. I was really surprised. And why it's a really different market is that in that market, it's sometimes low paying jobs. Okay. And for them, going to interview costs them money. It's public transport, but it's the time. Us, if we do an interview, we're getting paid, it's in between meetings. With them, if they don't work, if they need, like, let's say to take 2 hours to do an interview, they're not paid. And that 2 hours for them at the end of the week has an impact on their budget. So by being able to do it, so this is why we're also providing insight to the candidate, because we are telling them, hey, be in a professional environment, wear a shirt, that, because that's the type of the reality of that market.
That's really insightful. Are there any other sort of tidbits that you would share with people who are trying to figure out this high volume recruiting conundrum?
Is that often salary is not the answer to all your problem. Okay, because we have some of our customers that are paying really high wage, they're struggling. And we have some of our customers are paying minimum wage in that market. But give you an example, what one of our customers for his call center, for various reasons, he needs to pay minimum wage. Okay. But what he's doing is providing full flexibility for the job seeker. So they decide when they work. So people will trade money for time for the right flexibility. So this is why we're saying when it's really localized, it's localized not only by the location, but by your industry and what you're able to provide to the job seeker. So it's not one solution for all. You need to use the data, get that insight, and after that you're able to. Sometimes just putting money is not the solution.
Yeah, I love it. It's employee value props. It's just a bit different than maybe what we would traditionally think of in terms of EVPs. Yeah. Martin, thank you so much for your time and your insights and sharing your sort of, best practices, the data. I love all the benchmarking. If anybody wants to follow up with you, where can they find you?
LinkedIn. It's the best way to reach out to me. I will be more than happy to get contacted with them.
Okay. Sounds great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.